As war and conflict rage in the Middle East, with a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, a traumatized Israel fighting on 7 fronts, and a Lebanon in the shadow of an Iranian-controlled Hezbollah. The Mitvim Institute for Regional Foreign Policies held a conference on strategies for the future and on the need for hope at a moment where hopelessness is flooding the region.
I think the most important message is that hope is realistic, it's feasible. It's not just some kind of a feeling or wishful thinking. I think that when we are looking at the Israeli public right now, the crucial junctures that we are at, the last couple of days with a discussion about the future of Gaza, a military control of the north part of Gaza, about annexation, we do see, and when we come together, we do see that those ideas are promoted by a minority government. The establishment of a Palestinian state, a demilitarized Palestinian state, as long as it's part of a regional framework with US security support, we see that the idea of a regional alliance that would allow us to deal with Iran in the future, all those things are feasible.
The conference saw a range of public speakers and panels discuss and present specific alternatives to the current political reality of Israel, including Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid, who, amongst other things, called for a regional commission based in Riyadh to present plans for the futures of Lebanon and Gaza, for normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel, and for a future with the Palestinians.
In an unusual moment, there is a single organizing principle that deals with all the arenas in which Israel is involved. This organizing principle is a so-called normalization agreement with Saudi Arabia. This is a misleading name because it is much bigger than one agreement with one country. It's the construction of an entire regional coalition. Such a regional coalition will be the administrative basis of an alternative government in Gaza. It will assist with the rebuilding of the Lebanese army so that it will stand between us and Hezbollah in the north. It will be a military and economic alliance that will deal with the series of threats that Iran poses, from its nuclear program to the activity of Iranian proxies, from Yemen to Iraq. This diplomatic process must start with a comprehensive hostage agreement in Gaza, which would include a ceasefire for a 6-month transitional period in Gaza and a permanent arrangement in Lebanon. Israel will announce that it has no intention of settling Gaza or staying for years in southern Lebanon, but it reserves the right to defend itself by force beyond its border.
The opposition leader says that within a month, Saudi Arabia will host a conference with Israel, the US, Bahrain, the UAE, Morocco, Lebanon, and the PA, promising a 5-part deal to come out of the meeting. At the conference, speakers discussed issues like diplomatic ways to release the hostages, eco-political sustainability, Israeli-Palestinian peace in a regional perspective, and establishing a regional alliance, among other things. The discussions come less than a month after Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich from the far-right religious Zionism party called for Israel to effectively annex the West Bank and the Gaza Strip.
There are 2 paths for Israel right now. We're not going back to managing the conflict, and we can't wait on the fence thinking about the political security big issues after the October 7. There are 2 paths. The path of Smotrich, which is annexation, a continuation of the war, and a coup d'etat in Israel, which its basic meaning is for the long term, is the end of the Israel as a Jewish and democratic state. We're trying to show that there is an alternative.
At a moment where solutions through dialogue seem far away, Israelis repeatedly and consistently protesting for a ceasefire for hostages deal in Gaza, and tens of thousands of residents waiting to return to their homes in the north, the need for hope is big.
This is the pillar of how we can continue to create change. Without hope, we have nothing. We have no reason to wake up and continue doing what we're doing. Same for us, same for a hostage that wakes up every morning, same for an innocent family in Gaza that's suffering and wakes up every morning. What is one thing that we can connect on? Hope. It's a reason to continue, whether you're a thinker or you're a civilian or you're a soldier.